Picture living in a paradise where every day is a party. You have a caring mom and plenty of siblings, but there's one rule. Never breach the fence. Emma and her friends believed they were living in an orphanage waiting for a forever home. They didn't realize that the home was actually a dinner table and they were the main course. So, let's start the story. The story starts at the Gracefield Orphanage, where a woman named Isabella looks after all the kids. Here, all the kids call Isabella their mom, and everyone is happy with her. At the same time, all the kids see each other as brothers and sisters and live together quietly. Here we see that a number tattoo is set on their necks to identify the kids. In the orphanage, Isabella also teaches the kids so that when they are adopted, they can live well in the outside world. Here we see three friends named Emma, Norman, and Ray, who are the brightest students in the orphanage. This orphanage is ringed by a pretty field where all the kids play. No child can cross the orphanage fence because it is the most key rule of the orphanage. Also, when a family adopts a child, that child has to leave the orphanage forever. Likewise, a family is going to come to adopt a girl named Connie tonight. So everyone says farewell to Connie, and then Isabella takes her out of the orphanage. After Connie's exit, Emma and Norman wonder whether Connie will send them a note. Really, the kids who leave the orphanage always swear that they will go out and send a note to their friends. But no child has ever actually sent a note back to the orphanage. Meanwhile, Emma's and Norman's eyes land on Connie's favorite teddy bear, without which Connie would never go anywhere. So they plan on giving the teddy bear to Connie. Then Rye says that the light at the main gate is still on, which means Connie is still here. He tells them to quickly give the teddy bear to her and come back. Upon hearing this, Emma and Norman quickly dash toward the gate. There they see a truck at the gate. When they peek inside the truck, they both get a horrible shock. Really, Connie's dead body is kept inside this truck, and there is a flower on her chest. That's when they hear someone coming, so they quickly hide under the truck. After that, two huge demons come there and put Connie's body in a capsule. Seeing these demons, Emma and Norman get badly scared and listen to them talking. The demons say that the meat of the people living in this place is of very good quality and that these people are only raised for them. Here, Emma and Norman realize that their orphanage is a human farm. It is a place where all the kids are kept for the demons to eat, and one day the demons will eat everyone. Meanwhile, Isabella arrives there. She promises the two demons that she will bring a smart child for them next time. Actually, for the kids who are smart, their meat is seen to be of high quality. Meanwhile, the demons smell Emma and Norman, so they start searching everywhere. But when they look under the truck, they see only Connie's teddy bear. They pick it up and give it to Isabella. Seeing this teddy, Isabella suspects that a child had surely come there. Meanwhile, Norman and Emma run back to the orphanage. There, Emma suddenly collapses and starts crying. She still couldn't believe that her mom was a bad person, and she couldn't believe that where they live is not an orphanage but a human farm. Then Norman tries to settle her down and assures her that they should run away from there. To this, Emma says that they will not run alone. Instead, they will take the other kids of the orphanage with us. The next day, Emma and Norman go to the orphanage fence. There, Norman says that they will have to do good planning to escape from here. And when their planning is done, they will tell the other kids about it. After this, the two cross the fence to check the area. There they find out that there is a very high wall on the other side of the fence. It was impossible to cross. So they think that they will have to come back here with a rope. On the other hand, all the kids stop playing in the field. This is because one of them has disappeared. Then Isabella comes there. She quickly takes out her watch and looks at it. She goes toward the jungle, after which she brings the lost girl back to the field in a few seconds. Seeing this, Emma and Norman realize that Isabella has put a tracker on all the kids. With the help of the tracker, she finds out the location of every child. The next day, Emma and Norman go to the jungle and hide some ropes in a tree. During this, their friend Rye comes there and catches them red-handed. Then Norman tells him everything. Rye believes what he says. That's why he also asks to help them. After this, they go to the library to do research. There they see that there is a stamp of an owl on all the books. Around the stamp, a code is written. When they decode that code, they find out that a man named Minerva knows all the truth about the orphanage. Through the books, he wants to tell them that all the kids should run away from the orphanage. After this, in the evening, Isabella introduces all the kids to her new assistant, Cone. Cronin's arrival makes Emma and Norman's escape plan even tougher because now there are 2 women in the orphanage to take care of the kids. It was going to be very difficult for them to escape. Here, Isabella shows Cone the profiles of Emma, Norman, and Ray and says, "I think these 3 kids know the truth about the orphanage." That's why she tells Cone to keep an eye on all 3 of them. The next day, all 3 of them play a special game with all the kids. Through this game, they want to teach the other kids that if they ever have to run away from here, they can hide and run. But then, Cone listens to them and joins them in the game, after which all the kids start the game and Cone starts catching them. Cone catches everyone, but she cannot catch Norman. The same night, the 3 of them meet where Norman says, "I think there is an Isabella spy among the kids who is telling Isabella about every one of our actions." Norman thinks that this spy is one of the older kids. That's why he decides to tell the truth to kids of his own age, Don and Gilda, to find out who the spy is. Here, Don doesn't believe them, so he gets upset and beats Ray. Then Emma tells him again that whatever they said is true and that he has to believe them. Hearing this, Gilda believes Emma's words because she knows that Emma loves Isabella a lot, so she would never lie about her. After this, Norman tells Dawn and Gilda about the location of the ropes hidden by them. That same night, we see an unknown child who is Isabella's spy. He gives Isabella a note from under the door in which it is written about the ropes, and it is also written that Norman is a bad person. The next morning, Emma, Norman, and Ray see that Isabella has taken their hidden ropes. Now, because only Dawn and Gilda knew about these ropes, all the suspicion goes to Dawn and Gilda. But then Norman says that Dawn and Gilda are not spies because he didn't tell them about the real location of the ropes. He also says, "I planned all this to check Ray, and that apart from Ray, no one knew about the real location of the ropes. This means that Ray is Isabella's spy." Then Ray admits that he is Isabella's spy and says, "I had already known the truth about the orphanage, but he didn't want to die like the other kids, so he started working as a spy for Isabella." In return, Isabella increased his adoption time. He also says that he couldn't have left alone, but still he didn't give up hope of leaving. That's why he hid Connie's teddy bear, so that when they go to give Connie the teddy, they can also find out the truth about Isabella. Hearing Ray's words, Emma and Norman tell him that they still trust him. And then they include Ray in the team and make him a double spy. That is, Ray will now work as a spy for Norman, not for Isabella. After this, Ray hides the ropes in a secret hole on the floor of his room. He also puts some gas cans and his gadget in the hole. Actually, he made this gadget to block the tracker on him so that Isabella couldn't find out his location. After this, Ray goes to Isabella and lies to distract her, saying that the kids will try to poison her food. Isabella thanks him for this information, but still she tells Ray that he will be adopted after a few months, which makes Ray worried. The next day, the 5 kids go to the wall to test their ropes where Cone catches them red-handed. But instead of telling Isabella about this, she tells the kids she will help them. She also tells them that there is a chip in her body, and if any child escapes from her security, then she will be killed by the current of the chip. But still, she decides to help them. Here, the kids find out that Cone was also raised in the same orphanage. And now she wants to take Isabella's place by removing her. That's why she wants to help the kids. That same night, the 5 kids go to Kron's room where she tells them a story. That 1,000 years ago, a war broke out between humanity and demons in which many people lost their lives. That's why both groups made a deal called the Promise, in which both groups agreed to live in their own worlds. In addition, the demons promised humans that they would not bother them anymore, but in return, humans would have to give them some children to eat. This was the reason that in some orphanages, humans' children were kept for demons. They were well-educated and raised because by eating the brains of smart children, demons become smart and so they do not attack humans. Meanwhile, the kids ask Cone about the tracker. Then Cone tells them that a tracker has been placed in the ears of all the kids so that Isabella can see the location of every child. Now, because Ray has found a way to block the tracker, no one is worried about it. With this, Cone understands that the kids have found a way to block the tracker. That's why she tells them to find out how to do it. The next day, when all the kids go out to play, Cone goes to the kids' bedroom to find the gadget that blocks the tracker. During this time, Gilda sees it through the window and quickly tells her friends about it. Because of this, the kids put the blocker in a pig teddy bear that had already been checked by Cone. After this, Cone finds Ray's secret hole, which she suspects just by looking at it. That's why she starts looking through the room again and picks up the pig teddy. During this time, Isabella comes there and tells Cone while giving her a letter that a mother's post has been given to her in another orphanage, so she has to go from there right now. Hearing this, Cone doesn't feel right. That's why she leaves a special pen for the 5 kids before she leaves. When Cone reaches the main gate, she meets a supervisor of the orphanage whom everyone knows by the name of Grandma. Here, Cone tells Grandma about the incident that took place in the orphanage. To this, Grandma says that Isabella does her job well and she will never let the kids run away. Then a demon comes there and Grandma lets the demon kill Cone. After this, we see Emma and Norman climbing that wall while Ray keeps Isabella entangled in conversation to distract her. But Isabella already suspects them, which is why she doesn't listen to Rai and locks him in a room. Then Dawn takes Rai out of the room, during which Isabella goes toward the wall. She holds Norman and Emma in her arms and starts scolding them. She says, "I gave you everything you needed and still you tried to break the rules of the orphanage." Then suddenly Emma catches Isabella so that Norman can run away from there. But Isabella easily overpowers Emma and breaks her leg. Seeing this, Norman stops and refuses to go without her. Then Isabella tells Norman that the next adoption will be his. So this is his last day in the orphanage. On the same night, the 4 kids gather again to help Norman. To this, Norman tells them that if he has to protect others, then he will gladly sacrifice himself. After this, Norman starts packing his stuff, during which he finds the pen that Cone had kept for his help. The next day, to gather some information, Norman climbs the wall with the help of a rope. Then he finds that the other side of the wall is quite deep, because of which he could not easily cross the wall. Anyway, Norman comes back to the orphanage and makes a drawing on a piece of paper for his friends, asking them to find a bridge to cross the valley. This evening, Norman has to leave the orphanage, so he says goodbye to all the kids. Then Emma starts crying badly because she knows that the demon will eat Norman. After this, Isabella takes Norman to the main gate, where Norman meets a man named Peter. Here, Peter explains to Norman that he is the leader of the operation to feed the demons, and then he tells Norman everything in detail. To this, Norman says, "You don't have to tell me anything because I have come here willingly." Meanwhile, a demon comes there and kills Norman. Here, Emma was very sad and she could not do anything because of her injury. Then Isabella tells Emma, "I want you to be the next mother of this orphanage." Hearing this, Emma gets very upset. On the other hand, Ray was now alone, and because of that, all his hopes of getting out of there were over. Meanwhile, Isabella tells Ray that the next number for adoption is his. On the same night, Emma comes to Ray and tells him that she has a plan. But Ray already has a plan, so he sets himself on fire according to his plan. As soon as the flames of fire spread in the room, Emma starts crying. Hearing her voice, Isabella comes there. Then Emma tells her while crying that Ray has committed suicide by setting himself on fire with her watch. Hearing this, Isabella tries to put out the fire quickly. Actually, her watch was very important because through it she used to see the location of all the kids. Here, as soon as Isabella turns back, she sees that Emma has gone from there. Actually, all this was happening according to their plan. Anyway, Emma runs away with all the kids. Ray is also with her. Here we are shown a flashback in which Emma got a letter after Norman's departure. In this letter, Norman had written some ways to escape from there and had also kept that special pen with the letter. After that, Emma gave that letter to Dawn and Gilda so that they could work on the plan together with the kids. On the other hand, Isabella did not suspect Emma, so she started pretending to be sad in front of her. Emma did not tell Rai about this plan because Isabella always kept an eye on Ray. Here we find out that when Ray was setting himself on fire, Emma took his tracker out with a knife and threw it into the fire. And then she lied to Isabella about Ray's death and fooled her. After that, she removed all the kids' chips with the knife. After this, the story shifts to the present, where all the kids climb up the wall one by one and throw their ropes to the other side of the cliff. After that, they all use hangers to reach the other side. Here, leaving Emma, all the other kids reach the other side. That's when Isabella comes there. She tells Emma that she was once innocent like her and she had a boyfriend. Then one day she found out that she was pregnant. That's why she tried to run away from this place, but when she was standing on this wall, she realized that she would never be able to run away from here after this. She says that when her child was born, after a while he died. That's why she decided to become the mother of this orphanage and give a good life to the kids. It is also shown that when the kids were handed over to the demons, Isabella was very sad. But she was doing all this to save humans. Here, Isabella tells Emma that she is her favorite. But still, Isabella threatens Emma that if she tries to run away from here, she will cut the rope and drop her down. To this, Emma says, "I have faith in you that you will not do this." After which, Emma starts going the other way using that rope. Seeing this, Isabella takes out her knife to cut the rope, but she does not cut the rope. Isabella stands on the wall and sees all the kids running with pride. That's when she remembers the song she was singing while sitting in the playground. Isabella used to hum that song during her pregnancy. This makes Isabella realize that Rai was her child who was lost in childhood. Here all the kids start making their way into the jungle. Then Emma shows the pen to the kids. When it is opened, an owl comes out of it and starts taking all the kids toward the city. In the meantime, Isabella goes to meet Peter and Grandma and considers herself responsible for all the kids' escape. That's why Peter hands her over to a demon as punishment. And with this, the movie ends here. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.